Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. My little intro be getting me hyped on this hump day, so I'm glad to be here. Always love it when I make it to this point of the week because guess what? I got this bitch on the run, and you know how we do it. Wednesday evening. Hopefully, you're having a great week. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk for Real Men. We do this live on Wednesdays and Sundays. This is where we have a little bit more of a serious conversation, but it's still going to be fun. So, welcome to the show. If this is your first time, come on in. I've even put into the link an opportunity for you to join us right here live. We welcome all opinions. So, this is how we do it. Let me bring in the hostess with the mostest from Memphis, Tennessee. What's going on, Tasha? What's up?
What's going on, Black? How are you?
Baby, I'm here. I'm here. I made it to hump day to the other side of it. So, how are you doing today?
Dealing with this bipolar ass weather. So, another round of winter storms for us. So, we just here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here in Atlanta, we 77 some degrees. So, you know, I feel for you guys that are dealing with weather you don't want. Let's bring my brother in from Texas. I think they're dealing with the weather as well. What's going on, brother Kenny?
Evening to the dynamic duo. What's going on,
All
guys?
right. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. We doing all right. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm sick of this doggone bipolar weather in Texas. I can tell you that. I love me some Texas, but doggone it, I'm ready for winter. That damn, what is it? That song in Shadow, that doggone
Groundhog.
groundhog. He need to take his butt and go sit down somewhere. I'm sick of this.
Mac just said the same thing, and so
Yeah, I
I,
know.
I
Yeah,
envy y'all. I envy y'all because I wish we had some cold weather. But
no,
hey,
not this. Mm-mm.
I like it. Cause it don't matter how cold it get for me. So that's pretty
Okay.
It's the
good.
sleep in the ice. That's what's
Yeah, it's
annoying. So, it's
ice.
like
Yeah,
you're kind of
if
on
right.
bated breath waiting to see what's going to happen. So,
Gotcha.
If it's just snow, it would be cool. But this is ice, and then people ain't equipped to do all that driving on that kind of stuff. So you got wrecks everywhere. So I'm just staying at home. I ain't going nowhere today.
That's what's up. I hear you. Well, we're going to allow a couple of minutes to bring in some others that might want to pop in, and then we'll get this thing started. But I just want to announce that this is your first time joining us. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, and we are part of the TFG TV platform of shows. So if you don't know, you're missing out on quite a bit. Before I end this show, I'll give a full rundown. Mr. Kenny will of where you can find us on the various different platforms. But I promise you, subscribe to TFG TV. You can find just about anything you're looking for. The content there is top notch. Nobody's doing it like we doing it. And so I invite you to share the show with friends, continue to subscribe, like, and comment. Be a part of the whole process. We welcome that. So I know here on Real Talk, it's designed for us to share our opinions and to keep it honest and open. There is no taboo subjects here. In fact, we agree to disagree without being disagreeable. So everybody's welcome. All opinions are welcome. So we're gonna look forward to having you guys anytime. You're more than welcome to come on this platform. So you're probably wondering, well, what are we gonna be talking about tonight? So as we give it about another minute or so to see if we get some of our regulars to pop in, we're going to be talking about sex. Yes, indeed. That's always a favorite topic of mine. It is, primarily because I'm not having any right now. And I'm trying
Me
to work
either.
my way back into that magic spot. But I have a wealth of experience on what not to do, shit that goes wrong. And so I don't sit here telling you I'm an expert, but I can tell you what not to do. I've
know
had a
that's
lot of
right.
experience in that area.
Yeah.
So I try to share a little bit of my experiences from my personal life and just in general from living. But I by no means have the market cornered on what's right, and that's why I welcome all opinions. And I try to be inclusive with whatever experience you're going through. So whether you're gay, straight, bi, whatever, your opinions are welcome here as well.
And
And so
with your show being based on relationships, I guarantee you, and I just noticed this during this social media platform that we all use. You can post something totally could be a really good, feel good, fluffy story and all that. Nobody really won't comment on it. Nobody really won't hit like or share it. But if you start posting stuff about sex, man, let me tell you, they come out of the woodwork. It's like when you turn the lights on, the roaches just show up. That's
Absolutely.
sex is a polarizing topic, and we humans. So most of us like sex. So it's
Absolutely.
always something to talk about. So
it really is. And so we're gonna jump right into it. So if it's just us three, then you're gonna get some great content from three different perspectives, and I hope you enjoy it. So, how do I want to start this out? Let me ask you guys a question. Do you got, if I was to say to you, what is having a busy mind? What does that feel like when you say to yourself, well, man, I have a busy mind and it's affecting my sleep. It's affecting me. When I say that to you, what comes to mind just in general terms if I say, well, man, having a busy mind?
Distracted, overwhelmed, but more than anything, distracted.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
agree with Tasha, definitely. And you just got a lot going on. You can't relax. You stressed. So yeah, that's what I would say. A busy mind.
You guys are dead on, dead on. Brother Lamar, what's going on? Good to see you, my brother.
Yeah,
This is the
hey,
man
good to see you,
behind the
Lamar.
GFG. This is the
Yeah,
brother right here. Check him out. Check us
exactly.
all out. So you're absolutely right when you're describing that. And I know if you're like me, we all lead busy lives. There's always a half a dozen things that we could be doing, even right now. The fact that we make time to show up on this platform each week, but at the same time, in the back of our mind, there's 6 to 7 or 10 different things we're thinking about that we have to do even before we go to bed. Well, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. We've built ourselves up to be multitaskers. Tasha's doing it right now as she's looking down and doing distracted. It's who we are. It's built into the fabric of who we are. Now, because of our jobs and our family and our other things that's going on, that's normal. But how normal is having a busy mind when it comes to sex? Have you ever found yourself thinking in the moment of sex that, damn, I gotta call her back because tomorrow I gotta do this, or man, look at my stomach. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I done got fat. Oh my God, this is taking a long time. Will he just finished already? Damn, all that noise she making. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Have you found yourself in those scenarios during sex? Be honest.
Yeah, shit, all the time. I think women are kind of like that. Like even
I
though
do.
like
I
we
was
are
gonna say that.
interacting,
Yes.
but it's always something else going on upstairs. Always like shit. I'm hungry. I want a snack. You know.
Wow, 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 wow. So you see, this is where it's getting interesting.
Boy, that's funny.
Yes. What do you want to
But
add to that, Brother Kenny?
man, y'all got me crying already. Tasha hit the nail on the head though. I think that's more of a women thing. I think women, they tend to, and because of that, for them to orgasm and all that, they really have to be concentrating on the act at hand. But sometimes they just ain't there. They ain't in the moment. I don't think dudes, we just be happy to get some. So that's all we concentrating on. We ain't
Ooh,
thinking about who calling and what we got to do. We forgot to take the trash out. We ain't thinking about none of that. We just happy that, oh, this woman that gave me some tonight. I'm gonna go to bed happy.
so I got a question for you, Brother Kenny, because these are the daily distractions that can impact our sex lives. Um, I agree with you 1,000%, especially in my early years. But I'm going to be honest with you, my brother. I found that as I got older, and I don't know if it's because I had way too much sex or if the sex act itself became so mundane, I did find my brain overthinking things. Does that happen to you as you've aged with sex, or are you still like, I'm just glad to be getting something?
You know what, Black? And that's a good point because I think both of our sexual experiences are totally different. I wasn't, I can be totally transparent. I was a virgin till I was 21 years old.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
and I wasn't no big tight player type cat, So I was,
Gotcha.
I have a few partners, but not a lot. So You
I
know,
got
for
you.
me, I've never, that ain't been my experience, me personally. I
I
still,
got
man,
you.
if I had somebody next to me, I'd be happy just to be getting some at this point.
Damn. Okay. Maybe and I hope to hear from viewers out there. Please let me know, because I have definitely found that as I aged, and because of my history, my mind absolutely wandered to all of those things in reality, and I never thought I could get to that point, but I literally have been in a situation where I'm thinking, damn, this is taking too long. You know what I'm saying? Uh, without getting too graphic, we may go there before the show is over, but right now I'm trying to keep it nice, but without getting too graphic, I really have found myself thinking, well, damn, this could be in if she just keep doing this, or, and
No,
then
I've
the
had
whole,
that. Yeah, I've had that. Now,
okay.
this is going on too long. I'm like, okay, now, someone. Yeah,
But
I've had that
even
happen.
the body thing, I have found my brain drifting towards more about me than about the act itself. I wasn't really present in the moment because I don't feel as sexy as I used to, or whatever. And then, of course, if I had other things going on, job related, there was a time, Tasha and I talked about this recently, where whenever I was going through stressful situations, sex got me through it. That was the one thing that got me through it. Sex and drinking. Those have always been two of my big, only real hobbies, And there was a time when I could focus on my energies on drinking and sex. And then as I started to age, I wasn't able to shut it out. And it actually was affecting my performance. So, Tasha, the resident woman in this conversation, how is it for you? And as you answer that, do you think this is primarily a woman thing?
No, I do think it depends on where you are in your life and what you are going through. I
Mm-hmm.
do think that for younger men now, I think that they may be, that they may have those conversations like in their head, and definitely with younger women, yeah, and I imagine it, I liken it to something like, I can't wait to post about this, or like they immediately go to like thinking about social media immediately after. So that's what I think about. But I do think it depends on where you are in your life, what your level of happiness and satisfaction with your own life. I think that does matter. But I do think that for women, I don't think it ever stops. I don't.
Wow.
And for some people, I just found this out, which is very interesting. Not everyone has like like the voice that you hear in your head. Not everyone sounds the same. Not everyone's, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but not everyone narrates out loud. Like for some people, like your inner thoughts and things of how we hear different things is very interesting. I can't think of exactly what it's called, but your inner voice doesn't narrate the same way, like for everybody. So it's,
Wow.
it just depends.
I literally just learned something in this moment. This is what I love having these conversations, and man, that's valuable to know for me as a man. There's a movie with Mel Gibson called What Women Want. If you've never seen it, and he has this accident, and all of a sudden he wakes up and he could hear women's inner thoughts. And what you were talking about, Tasha, is kind of that. He was an ad executive, and walking down the street, what he discovered was, and he put it into his ad campaign, so to speak, and made him even better. He said, women, he said in the movie, women, y'all worry constantly. He said, women worry constantly. He said, you think about, because as he's passing these women in the streets, is what you're talking about, Tasha. They're on their way to work, and all their thoughts were saying the same thing. Did I turn that off, or I got to do this? And that you're telling us that this inner voice never goes away.
Never.
It's fascinating. That's very fascinating.
It is. And I think, like you said, we all, our inner voices is all, I mean, we can, it's different. And I think women's, and when we're talking about actually doing, sexual act or being intimate, so both of their voices going to be saying something totally different. So now it's
different.
Like it's all kind of chaos going on in each other's inner mind,
Absolutely. You
So
know, and
that could affect each other's performance. You might not perform as well that night, or vice versa. So
when you think about it, there's occasions then where it's 4 people in that room.
right.
I mean,
True.
to
You're
to
right.
kind of think about it from that
You're
perspective,
right.
because as you said, Tasha, where you're at in your life and your personal level of happiness, and so what's my voice telling me and my physical being versus your physical being and your voice, this is definitely explaining the disconnect sometimes we find in relationships, even though we think sex automatically bonds you together. That's why I want to have this conversation. And I want to talk about 2 main things that truly could impact, us being present and mindful when it comes to sex. And the first one is trauma. The first one I want to talk about is trauma. Now, of course, when we speak about trauma, we're talking about sexual trauma in the sense that we're not talking about necessarily that, you've been molested or something like that, because sexual trauma can show up in different situations, even when the sex is consensual, even when it's consensual, because our brains being what they are, they automatically sometimes go into protection mode, and it could be something that's not even related to that individual or to the sex act itself. But if your brain is disconnected from what's happening in front of it, it goes into this protective mode. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you
Yeah.
experienced this?
I haven't personally experienced it, but
Okay.
I know some. I know some women that kind of have experienced that uh, from some friends that I've spoke with, and it's because they could have an act with this certain partner that they had, and it may be a certain position or something that triggered something, a bad sexual
Absolutely.
experience, and
Absolutely.
so that kind of just throws off their whole sex, at that
Absolutely.
point. So yeah, I haven't had it,
Absolutely.
Herbert, but I've had some friends and women friends tell me about that though.
Tasha, any experiences with this?
No, not, I can honestly say no. Not
Okay.
something that I've even been with someone that they could say that even that's affected them, at least what they, told me. But no, I haven't experienced that.
Now, here's where my wealth of experiences come into play. It has absolutely happened to me on many, many occasions, but I never looked at it as trauma. I never associated it with the word trauma. And anybody who's been watching me long enough know that one of my worst sexual experiences ever is I got shitted on before during sex, and yeah, it was one of the most vile, disgusting acts that ever happened. And the thing of it is that I never associated it to this point, but this is where it's going to get a little graphic here, and I'm still going to try to keep it as clean as I can. But my favorite position is doggy style, and this act happened when I was doing it doggy style. That's my favorite position. And what has happened on many occasions is I have been doing my thing in the height of my performance. I'm in doggy style. I'm in Superman mode at this point. My hands are on my hips and shit, I'm watching myself. I'm looking around. I'm getting it in at this point. And if the woman's body starts making a certain sound, we men know what we're talking about when you
Right,
make that pussy fart. That's the best way I
right,
could put it.
right.
I have froze. I found myself freezing because the brain is saying, is something else happening? It has slowed down my performance. And that's just one example that I never associated with trauma, because even when I was reading this, it was talking about consensual trauma. And Brother Kenny, you talked about a certain position or something. So here's another example where trauma, not necessarily even when it's so negative. I've been in situations with a woman where something she does, like you said, a position or whatever, and guess what it does? It made me think about somebody else and affected my performance.
Yeah.
Somebody else that I wanted to be there in that moment. And I see you nod your head.
That's happened to me. Yes.
Because you don't often think of it in that way, but trauma, yeah, it impacted me. So I'll let you speak on that if you've had experience. And then Tasha, definitely got to ask you that for a specific reason. But go ahead, Brother Kenny.
Yeah, I've definitely. I think most men probably could say that they've dealt with that, where they could be with someone and there'd be certain things happen and they mind go to, man, this is, I wish I remember this with the one I really want to be with. And then somehow,
Yes.
and then for a second, you kind of it kind of does make you feel some type of way. And you got to try to regroup. So now
Bingo.
you got all this stuff going on, and then you trying to regroup, and it's like, oh man, you fumbling and bumbling around like you done dropped the football on the goal line. So I mean, I never really looked at that as trauma,
I
but I
didn't
guess
until I read this.
now that you really what you're saying, I guess it can be that. It can be that.
After I read that, that's I was like, wow, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
So Tasha, I'll let you speak on that. But the
Mhm.
reason why I wanted to come to you on that one was because your last long-term relationship was very disappointing, to say the least. Was it because you were measuring that person up against what you wanted?
Like comparing it to someone?
Yeah.
No. It was
Okay.
just because it was just bad. It was just bad. And it wasn't satisfying at all. I guess from what you read and from what you're saying, to me, if you want to fantasize about someone else during sex, I think that that's kind of normal. Like whatever it is, whoever it is, whoever does it for you, even if in that moment, because people can sit up here and say what they want to, but oftentimes people will fantasize about someone else during sex. And to Kenny's point and everything, it could be who the person that you really want to be with in that moment, the person who really did it for you in that moment. I think that that's normal. But
I don't, but go ahead.
But I would say, as far as like my last relationship, it wasn't because I didn't want to, I wanted to be screwing with somebody else. It was just a bad performance.
He was just
It
bad,
was just,
which
it was
is
bad.
going to lead to my next one. But I actually don't think that's normal to fantasize about. You know what? We've done many shows where we talk about who we find attractive, and it's usually we're talking about famous people and stuff like that. I think Megan Good is sexy as all get out. Lisa Ray is just a stunning woman. Prior to Rihanna getting a bun in the oven, she was one of the sexiest bitches. Now she's dead to me. But you know what I'm saying? But even then, oh, she's dead to me.
I still hit that pregnant. I still hit that pregnant.
And I don't
coochie. You know
find
how I feel.
she is so
You know how I
ugly
feel
to me
about pregnant
right now.
coochie.
Right,
That
and
pregnant
I
coochie
don't
go
find
hard.
pregnant women attractive, so she looks absolutely disgusting to me right now.
Okay.
I wouldn't even piss on her. But having said that, I don't find her attractive. Having said that, Tasha, do you know that I'd never gone into a situation where I fantasized about somebody else being there? So when I talk about being sexually present, I've been with some of the ugliest bitches you ever could think of, and I've been in the room. I have been focusing. Sitting here hearing you say that, I never thought that, man, I wish this was so and so. I knew she was ugly, and I was present 100%. I might make her face the other way so I didn't have to look at her face or something like that. But I knew she was ugly, and I understood that. And I'm dealing with this right here, and of course,
So
I've slept with women.
you would not fantasize of in that moment about being with
I
someone
never did.
else.
I
Okay.
never did.
That's
I
unusual because I
truly
think most
experienced
men
the
do.
moment.
Okay.
That's why something's wrong with me. I've
No,
had
it ain't
bitches
nothing wrong with you.
with
That's
missing
just who you
limbs.
are.
You
That's
know,
just your makeup. Ain't no wrong with you. That's just unusual.
and that's why when she
Yeah.
said that's not normal for me.
I'm not going to say
Now,
not every time, but I am saying that
Right,
sometimes
right.
if you're with someone, and it's like you need to reach your peak, you will replay certain special moments over with someone
Yeah.
else.
I never had to do that. I never did that.
Okay.
I never had to do that. Maybe I've always been so selfish that it was, you know what? Maybe that's it. I've always been so selfish sexually, and I'm not talking about with a wife or a long-term girlfriend, until it was always about me anyway. So I didn't ever have to fantasize about another woman. I was looking at my own dick and like, I'm getting it. I do what you need to do, baby. I'm admiring. That's why I like doggy style. I'm admiring myself.
You just answered your own question. That's probably why it's never happened, because
Maybe
you
that's
just said,
and
it's about
I'm
it's
realizing
about
that.
you. It's
It was
about you.
always
So
about me. It was
gotcha.
always about me.
Okay.
Right up until I started being abstinent, it was always about me getting so that's interesting right there. But the other reason that can be a barrier to us actually being present is being performative. Now, this one we all can appreciate, because orgasms aren't the only things that people fake in bed. Moans, body language, facial expressions. A lot of times women like to believe that just because they got that furry bank down there, that it's always pays dividends. But I got news for you. It ain't always pleasurable. And then we as men, it's a sensitive thing to say that your pussy is kind of slaw. But we gotta pretend, that it's going on. Don't get me started on hygiene. You know what I'm saying? And then women performing self-pleasure. It sounds beautiful on its surface, but anybody who knows me, you playing so much in your pussy, it just turns into a big sloppy mess for me. And it does start to impact my performance. Not to mention at the beginning of this, I was talking about taking too long. Somebody constantly switching positions and she don't know what you want. And or you trying to get that pussy and she got a fat pumping ass and you just was looking forward to it, and now she constantly running. You got to keep grabbing this bitch back. All of these things affect performance. So y'all looking at me like I'm crazy. Is this only me thinking this? Come on.
No, it's not only you. It's just, the way you narrate stories, Black. You got a way your narration be off the chain. I be trying to be serious, but you be making me laugh too much. But to be serious about this, I think it's at the end of the day, sex is about intimacy. Before you even do the physical act, it's about the communication and the intimacy with the mind. So a lot of times we just really want to screw and gang bang. It's about with someone we really ain't truly want to be intimate with.
True. Very true.
On that level. So the physical part is just like we just going through the motions. So, and then as far as performance wise, you're right. I think sometimes women do think that. I mean, I would say y'all are the trophies, but doggone it, some of y'all coochie ain't all that.
Yes, sir.
I mean, y'all can talk about us and say we small and we ain't got enough length of girth. But let me tell you, honey, some of y'all coochie ain't no championship thoroughbreds either. They ain't running in no Kentucky Derby either. So let's go and keep it funky right now.
Bravo. I wish we had more women on here, but he nailed it. Mick Mac, what do you say about this as far as performative? And I'm curious, as a woman, does some of these things affect your performance and what you're giving out?
I think it depends on the person that you're with and what they are able to bring out of you, because there are some men who will say, we ain't doing all that you may be used to doing. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he said that. He was like, Tasha, we're not doing all that because that's nasty. We're not doing all that. We just gonna do, he said, we're gonna do regular sex.
Wow.
See that? Oh, see, you're right. See, that goes back to the intimacy, right? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it goes back to the level of comfort that you have with that person, but it does, like as far as performance, it does affect that.
Because I got a question for that, because
that's
you and I,
everybody got to be on that same freak level.
There you go, because that's where I'm going with her, because Tasha the real deal, and we've talked about this before, because she's done some shit. She said, well, Black, I thought that was nonsense. No, you be doing way too much, Mick Mac. I mean, she real with it. So I want to ask you something. In those instances where if the person is not ready for all, because what you think is, I thought we was, does that then change your mindset and affect your enjoyment of now that they're not going to go to the whole grand scheme of it? Does it affect you?
It does. It definitely affects it. Like you have to like for me, I have to like readjust and like really, really like think about it. And also where I'm used to someone being more aggressive, being more of the one to initiate it, then you have someone who's kind of more permissive. Like they want you to like they're waiting on you.
Passive.
Like I don't really I don't know what to do with that. Like I don't.
Wow.
You know, like
Okay.
that's just it's weird for me. Like I just don't know what to do with that. It's like what are you waiting on? Like you're the man. Like what are you waiting on? So
Absolutely.
especially if we're in the act of doing other things, I thought naturally one leads to the other. If I'm giving you head, I thought that act leads to something else. But apparently, like with this person,
that's
it
why
doesn't.
we've had that conversation, and I'll be like, Mac, no, you doing too much. You know. So we've had this. I swear on God, we've had that conversation.
And I will tell you this, even like with this person, like he was like, because it's one person specifically I'm thinking about. He's like, I'm scared of you. Like I'm scared to like go there with you like that. And it's like a turn off.
Well, that shows
don't
right.
say
Well,
it. Keep it to yourself.
Right. So I mean, so that shows where sexual compatibility is definitely a major factor. Obviously, Tasha. I mean, obviously, I don't know how into this guy you were, but it sounded like that maybe y'all probably weren't going to be sexually compatible. I mean, he just wasn't gonna. If he already told you like, I don't think I want to do that. I can't do that. You were going to be frustrated from the jump, because you're going to be feeling like I got to always initiate, or I want this, but I'm scared to ask him because he said that's too much. So and then that's going to go down the drain. You get tired.
This is someone who I have slept with before, and I was going to give him another chance because it wasn't the best, and I was going to give him a chance. And then he did this, and I was like, okay, well, I don't even know like where to go from here.
And so, Brother Kenny, I got a question for you. And again, because I got a question for you, Brother Kenny. That's why I said, y'all don't even know. She and I, we had these real conversations.
I see.
But I got a question for you, brother. Because again, you and I have different backgrounds. But what do you do when the shoe is on the other foot in this instance where the woman is super aggressive? Have you ever been in that situation where the woman is super duper aggressive, and does that affect your performance?
Not mine. I liked it. Me personally.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. And I already knew I wasn't really trying to kick it with her like that anyway, but she was aggressive and she was like bringing it. I'm like, okay, I can rock with this. So yeah, I like it.
Okay. I was just curious. You know, nine times out of 10, but I've had that 1 out of 10 that literally shut me down. That was was way over the top, too much. To where for me, I knew I was in over my head, just to be honest.
Gotcha.
So I've had that situation as well, both when I was in my prime and even now being a fat old man.
You know what? Right. I get that. You know what's funny? The first woman that actually gave me head, it was a horrible experience. I was in my prime at that point. Right? I was 21. And that turned me off on getting head.
Wow.
I did not like it. I did not like a woman to give me head because she was bad at it. And I didn't even know what bad was.
What's that word we just left? Trauma.
Traumatized. Yeah, I guess that was my trauma.
When you don't think about it,
yeah,
we don't associate it with it, but it's real. It's very real. Yeah. So man, I'm learning some things. But now we would be remiss if we talked about all the problems, but we didn't try to come to some helpful suggestions. And again, this is not a be all to end all here. Just so you know. Any advice that come on this show, it's a grocery store. Buy what you need. The other shit you don't need, leave it on the shelf. Right. So I don't want anybody walking away saying that, again, we don't have all the answers. So I like to discuss things and see if we can find something in there, So there are 4 things that I plucked out that I thought would be some good suggestions to make sure that we are more mindful and present when we're in these intimate moments for sex so that the barriers can be blocked out. Now, this one I thought was interesting. It says, turn to your breath. And what do you guys think about breathing exercises, centering yourself, breathing deeply, sitting silently when you find yourself, maybe being mentally distracted and pulling yourself back together, sending yourself through breathing exercises? And it kind of talked about, in many cases that centering yourself that way leads to a higher level of orgasms and obviously a more mental connection when it comes to sex by slowing your breathing down, allowing your diaphragm to get yourself relaxed. Do you put any stock in this?
Now, is this doing this individually or with your partner? This breathing exercise? Is it just saying
it doesn't say, but I'm taking it as if you find yourself. Do you find any stock in this or any helpful tips in it, whether you do it together or not?
I could see that being helpful. I think it'll again it would help you with your breathing techniques. Obviously, with sex is physical exertion, so it can help you breathe during whatever you're doing. But it also probably it relaxes you, I guess, prior to. I would see that as sort of like meditating, I guess. Somewhat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this something you would use? You would
Oh
try?
yeah, I'll try it. I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say on this, McMack?
I definitely think it would be helpful, I would even say in the moment, like even if you catch yourself, like your mind float, going somewhere else, or even if it becomes too much in that moment, like, yeah, you can, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and like you said, just remember where you are. Just for like, just like give me like a second. There's ways to cover it, like to cover it or whatever. You could
I'm
easily
glad
just
you
say,
said that.
like, hold on a second, like, give me a second,
Yeah. Right.
I'm so glad you said that because I always did this in many cases and didn't even know I was doing that. It's amazing how sometimes involuntarily, we do things. I told people this before. When I first started putting on weight, and I'm being so serious here, my stamina wasn't what it used to be. And then, of course, from an aesthetics perspective, there was an embarrassment of looking at myself. So Tasha calls it the Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, the food, yeah. You wear a shirt and no bottom.
with the little bitty t-shirt and oh, no.
If you can see what I got on right now, this shirt has been through a lot of sexual experiences right here, because so y'all just don't you understand how serious this shit is, but
oh my goodness,
even from that perspective. So, and I remember I had apartments where it had a shitload of mirrors in it too, which made it even worse. My previous bathroom, the whole wall was a mirror.
Oh wow.
And I actually hated going in that bathroom. So I would keep the lights dim and light candles or whatnot and have it set so that when I had company over, I didn't want them to turn on any lights. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so subconscious about my body. But the whole breathing thing, Tosh, I'm glad you said about that, even in the moment. Do you know how many times I've had to step away in the bathroom under the pretense that I had to pee or something and gather myself with my breathing? I literally had to stand in front of the mirror and slow everything down because, again, I was losing myself in that moment, because I wasn't able to do all the things I previously used to be able to do. And I had to, Freddie, get it together.
Wow.
Freddie, get it together. I didn't never even realize I was doing this. And that's been something I had been doing for a long time. So when I read this, I thought, wow, turn to your breath. I didn't think of it in that time as meditating, but it did pull me back in the moment, because, as a man, we're in a unique situation where we can't afford to have a bad dick report.
You just was going where I was going. Yeah.
Go ahead, brother Kenny. I don't want to steal all the time.
No. You got it. Because I think we're already, I think, men, and a lot of women disagree with me, but I always say that the men, we are under more pressure to sexually perform than a woman.
Absolutely.
Because so we already go in with performance
Absolutely.
anxiety anyway.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
you throw all these other situations, like you said, Black, sometimes we may not feel good about how we look body wise, or we worried about is my penis going to be satisfied.
Absolutely.
So we already going in with all these things. Where a
Absolutely.
woman is, you can kind of just have a fat butt, look good, as long as your hygiene is on point. You ain't got to really do much from there.
You really don't.
So,
I hope you ladies understand that.
So I get
hope
what
y'all
you're
understand
saying, Black.
And that. So I just want to pass that on. So that's where we're at with this. So breathing, take from this what you want, but the whole idea is to gather yourself. Go ahead, Tasha.
I would just say one thing that I have found, like and I know like not everybody does it, like as far as kissing, but if you are in the middle, you're middle of having sex with somebody, even if you just stop, whether it's him, you have him, like pull out and just go to kissing, that will center you. That'll bring you right back to where you need to be, because it's the mouth, it's the contact. Like, okay, I'm here with someone. It'll give you a break just for a moment.
That's a good point, Tasha. But I've run into a lot of women that don't like to kiss. I've run into a lot of women that don't like to kiss.
I was going in another way. So Kenny is going where I'm going with this.
So I think that's great, Tasha. I feel you, but I've run into a lot of women that don't like to kiss. They don't. But
Tasha,
like
you know what I told you before. People don't kiss anymore, Tasha.
No,
don't treat me like a common hoe. You gonna kiss me, damn it! Don't do me like that,
baby. I mean, you have the hair standing up on my arms right now.
Right.
Hannah said, "Why is the Peter?"
Because Hannah, as a man, we don't want a bad Carfax out there. We don't. We don't want no. Y'all talk. Don't get it twisted. Y'all talk about men's performance.
I love that you likened it to a Carfax report, Hannah. You drive a nice car. I'm sure I don't know what brand of car you drive, but women typically drive better cars than men. So you're going to tell me that you're going to knowingly go out and purchase a car and drive it home when the report is saying that it stalls occasionally. The transmission sticks. It's always running low on oil. Oh, and every now and then you got to put air in the tires. You're going to knowingly take that car home? Stop it.
What website does it have the dick reports on? Because okay.
So in this case, what if Hannah, your girl, what if this circle of friends, oh girl, I know him. You look at him, he got big old feet, but his dick is so small.
I'm glad you said that. There was a post on my Facebook page last night by one of my classmates that said, do y'all remember the one everybody wanted in high school, but he had a little wee-wee? Women, y'all don't have to deal with that. I just saw this post last night.
It's real. It's real. Girl, don't even wish. Girl, don't even. You gotta remember something now. I've had nothing but female friends in my whole adult life.
Yeah.
You to say y'all talking really?
Come on.
This woman sitting right here, I love her to death. This is my best friend on earth.
Tasha, no tea. That's why she's smiling.
I called her one day and she was teaching this nigga how to take a bath, how to shower, and fussing at him.
Shit.
And so
he made me mad with that.
The report is for real. So
oh wow.
That dick report is crucial. And so we only get one chance most times to make a first impression. Listen to what Tasha just said 10 minutes ago. She said it was somebody she slept with and she was giving him what? Another shot at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was
we
don't
get a
generous.
Second chance. Yeah.
Normally we don't get a second chance. I saw you. I know what you got. I'm good. It's what happens.
Yeah.
And so we can't afford those bad dick reports. So yes, you have to gather yourself and look yourself in the mirror, Hannah, and say, now let's go out here and make this bitch happy. I'm just telling you. It is real. The struggle is real. Let's go to number 2 as another helpful hint to make you more mindful and present during sex. And this one is on focusing on your senses. Now, this is huge,
Yeah. Yeah, this
to
was
me,
huge.
because
Mhm.
this is talking about get out of your head and into your body. In order to fully access pleasure, how about focusing on grounding ourselves in our own bodies, during the moment? Think of something you see or the smell or touching. Tasha talked about kissing a moment ago. And so those five senses that can play a huge part on pulling us back, grounding us. And Tasha talked about kissing. You're 1,000% right. Kissing is so sensual that it brings you there. And it's sad that it's the art of kissing is being lost now,
Mhm.
because it's not happening anymore. Because you're right, Tasha. My greatest relationships, I could kiss if I'm feeling you, I could kiss for hours all over the person. And if they, oh my God, if they're clean,
Yeah,
the person
if they
that I
smell
love,
good, if they
oh my
smell
God,
good.
let me tell you, women,
Mm.
something. That sense right there of smell,
Mhm.
it's
That's big.
also being lost.
It's big.
20 years ago, if I was giving gifts to women, Tasha knows this, I could go and get a woman a gift from Perfume Mania, and they wanted it. Something smelled good, Bed Bath and Beyond and Bath and Body Works. Women, you pass by most women now, you don't smell anything particularly feminine. I worked in an office for over 5 years where I was the best smelling person in the office, not man, the best smelling person. So for me, smell is huge in terms of senses and grounding me. So I'll let you guys speak on this. What do you think about this hint right here about focusing on your senses?
Go ahead, Tasha.
Oh, I would say that's definitely a big one for me. Is always like that, and that's where my mind goes a lot of times. Sex is I'm focused on the sensations. I'm focusing on your mouth, my mouth. I'm focusing on just the touch where you're touching me. That's what I focus on.
Yeah.
Men,
And I get it. I get it. For me, scent, the smell is very, very important to me. If a woman smell good, especially if it's something that she wears and it particularly smells good
it's
only
her.
on
It's
her,
her. It's her
that
unique scent.
is very, very, very important to me. It's unique. She's the only one that smells like that, and she has it on particular parts, especially around the neck area,
Yes,
around
sir.
on the
Yes,
arms,
sir.
around there.
Yes, sir.
It's hypnotizing for me. And then the kissing
I
part
agree.
is touching is very. It's a lost art. I think you can touch somebody, but you may not touch them in a way that gets them where it takes them to a different place. You know what I'm saying? And
I
that
know
goes for men
exactly what
and
you're saying.
women. So learning that part, your partners knowing their body, knowing what they're liking and how to touch them. Damn, man. It's, and that comes to me, that comes with wisdom and age too. I'll be honest
Bingo.
with you. I think
Bingo.
when we was young in my
We didn't know
20s
how to touch
and
you. You know
30s,
how to touch
hell
a
no, I
woman.
didn't.
You don't
No,
know how
I
to touch
did.
a woman.
No,
You
I
grabbed
didn't.
her and you were
Right.
rough and it's that. It's a beautiful
Right.
thing you're saying.
Right. So
Experience and wisdom. Oh, and don't underestimate them touching you, because when that person
exactly.
knows
Exactly.
you and
Right.
knows what you like,
Right.
and we're not talking about nasty grabbing your dick. I'm just
No,
talking
no,
about
no, exactly.
somebody can
Right.
just walk
Rubbing.
by and touch your. I'm bald headed, so not,
Dude,
you
bro.
know what I'm saying.
Bro,
You know
if
what
a
I'm saying.
woman, if she get to rubbing my neck and on my head, and
Touch your
then
head the
put
right way
and
with
pull
her
and pull
nail.
on my beard,
It's OV.
and she do it right,
It's
that's a wrap for
OV.
me. She got me.
I,
I'm like a little
I've
puppy
only
dog.
I've only let
I'm
one
like a little
woman.
puppy.
There you go. I've only let one woman in my life actually shave my head, because I genuinely enjoyed the way she knew how to touch my head in the right way. And I'm talking
Mhm.
about this head, not the other one.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
but it's huge being in
Yeah.
touch with your senses. This is a major one right there. Let's go on to the next one about another helpful hint. When it comes to being mindful and being present in sex, changing your environment. Setting. This is talking about how maybe setting the mood can be a game changer. It says getting the lights just right. Getting that playlist the way you want, lighting a candle, making sure that doors locked, making sure that you're in an environment that's free from distractions where you can really go all the way into the experience and submerge yourself. How important is this?
That's very important. And I think for women, that's really probably really important for them because sometimes you got to pull them away from the monotony. And
Yes.
sometimes the house may be some monotony going on. So sometimes you got to figure out you set something up and just pull her away and pull both of yourselves away too. And just take yourself away for a whole different environment. And y'all can explore and explore each other as well as the environment and kind of just, let your hair down a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tasha, you laughing? What you got on this?
I'm laughing because, when I think of change your environment, maybe don't limit yourself to just the bedroom. Take it to the
Yeah.
kitchen. Shit, fuck in the car, in the garage, somewhere. That's
Yeah,
where,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I think
that's true too.
It's
Yeah,
valid.
that's true
That's
too.
valid.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
valid. I agree with you
Everybody
1,000%.
ain't freaky like you, Tasha. I see you got a lot of
That's
boy.
right.
Yeah,
No,
all right.
I'm saying, or even, like maybe you're always at one person's place over the other because,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, maybe go to
Yep.
like the other person's, place or whatever.
Right.
Just the changing of environment is huge. I agree with you 1,000%. And at the height of me doing my thing, for me, it was always about the environment. Tasha knows this from watching how I've always had my place always set up. It was always designed to give me home court advantage,
Mm.
and I put a lot of effort and energy into the environment because of what you said, Brother Kenny. I knew a lot of the women I dealt with, some of them had kids or maybe they didn't live alone and they were coming to visit me. And so wherever they were leaving, they're trekking across town to come visit me. And at home, at the beginning of the show, we talked about I got to do laundry and I got to go
Right.
grocery shopping. All those things is going through her head. My role and thought process was when she crossed my threshold, it's all about her. I wrote an article one time saying it was called The Sexiest Bitch Alive. I viewed it as my personal mission that when she crossed the threshold, I'm going to make her feel like she's the sexiest bitch alive. That if Janet Jackson walked in the room, it wouldn't have mattered. So from the moment I invited her in, the lighting was right. My apartment was clean. I used to have this little thing I used to plug into my socket with the heated oils. And so the moment the door opens, already the smell of my place was damn. And I had the music playing in the background, a real music, not this bullshit.
Right,
Keith Sweat,
exactly.
Johnny Gill type shit,
Right. Yeah,
OJ type
already.
shit going on.
Yeah, already.
Not too loud, low
Mhm.
enough to where you can hear and appreciate it, but still have a conversation. And then, of course, she's coming into a clean apartment,
Mhm.
cleanliness, so that when she sat down and looked around, I don't know what her place looked like. Whether it might not have been nasty, but maybe there's laundry sitting on her couch that has to be done. Maybe there's toys around the floor. And for
Right.
her just for that time being, I'm someplace where I can put my feet up on the couch and listen to music, and somebody can wait on me for these next few hours and hand me a glass of wine, and anything I want, he's getting it for me. Oh my God, I don't want to leave here. You know what I'm saying? He's
Mhm.
got the little blanket thrown across the couch. If I get chilly and shit, many times my little smooth bull was get out them clothes and put on this t-shirt, sweetheart. And I knew the
I know
t-shirt
that's
smelled
right.
like me. It's rules to this game. It's rules to
Yeah.
this motherfucking game. But it was all about creating the right environment
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, where people want to say, "Oh, I was a dog," but here's the catch. I knew the better I could make her comfortable and better I can make her feel more comfortable, the better she was going to be for me. So I'm getting the best out of it anyway.
Right. I mean, that's the end of the day. It's about the woman is the less chaos and the more comfortable and relaxed she is, the more she let her inhibitions go and she
Yes,
can
sir.
relax and
Yes,
and
sir.
and, and do what she need to do. And it's a win-win. It's a win-win for both people,
Win-win.
you know.
Yeah,
So
I would say though it's equally as important, especially nowadays for like the men. A lot of times men are taking a chance by coming over to your house. They don't know the environment that they're coming into. They
Very
don't
true.
know if you have like a crazy ex or a
Very
baby dad
true.
Yeah,
or
that's
somebody
true
who still
too.
has a key to your door.
Right.
And one thing I have found and I can say that I honestly do appreciate is that when someone does come over to my house, they do say the men have said that they do feel relaxed, that's something like when they come in, they feel like they're at home, like they don't have to be on guard. And so for me,
Mm,
I do
mm.
appreciate that. So
And we do
I
appreciate that. I can agree. Yeah, yeah, for
I can
real.
speak on it because uh,
Mm,
uh, she's helped. Tasha's responsible for decorating my place because she has that feng shui thing, extremely good taste, and this look that's in my place now is all her. You
mm-hmm.
know, and so I know what she's saying. And even though it's been rare occasions where I went to visit a woman, it is huge because if I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to stay. And a damn show can't perform very well. What you said, Tasha, wondering if somebody's gonna knock
Right.
on the door, is a kid gonna run out and interrupt things,
mhm.
all those little things, So the few times that it's been successful, you're right. It's when the woman made me, I walked in and I could settle in and relax,
Right.
knowing that I got you. Relax.
Mm-hmm.
Put your feet up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is a grown woman shit here. You know what I'm saying? That same
Yeah.
thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's a beautiful thing. So I hope people viewing this, I hope is anybody going back watching this show, a lot of you young whippersnappers, male and female, we's putting down some real shit that I hope y'all can pick up on some of these tips because a lot of this is not being done. And that's
And
the and
then
that's
right.
why a lot of the
And,
problems.
and that's a big reason the problem is. And a lot of us that's older and wiser. Hey, sometimes you got to take a refresher course. Sometimes you wonder why you and your partner's sex game may not be up to
You're
par.
right. You're
Maybe
right.
you ain't had a tune up.
You're right. You're
Y'all ain't
right.
checked in with each other, man. So
You're
I think you definitely, this can help those couples that's stagnant in their sexual intimacy as well.
Absolutely. And we got one last tip for you, to help you be mindful and present during sex. And this one is talking about just simply reflecting, and I want to read something to you guys on this one. It says a lot of us just roll over and continue on with our day when we are having sex. Guilty. We never spend time reflecting on the sex we are having with ourselves or with our partners. To be honest, this is a word I like. The debrief after sex is one of my favorite parts of sex. Since sex is about pleasure, but sex is also about learning, growing, and reflecting, try to spend at least 5 minutes after sex reflecting with your partner or with yourself, if you're masturbating, on what you just went through, about the experience. What do you guys think about this?
I have always said, don't jump up and make me feel like a $2 hoe and go to put on your clothes and everything. No, you're gonna come, you're gonna lay right here. You're gonna cuddle with me for a few minutes and we're gonna discuss this. How was it? Are you okay? Give me a high five. Come on, that was a good one. Anything,
Wow. I love
so
it. I
but
love it.
you're not gonna jump up and just leave,
I
and
love it.
leave me.
What's up, Antoine? What's
What's
up?
up, Antoine? Tasha
I
said,
love it, Tasha.
you
And
better
I and I'm and
lay
I'm
your ass
guilty of
back
not
down
doing
here.
that.
We get ready to cuddle.
Yeah, we are.
I am not, Tasha, we've talked about this. And so what you just said, Brother Kenny, is that even for us old dogs, we need to reflect on things we need a refresher on.
Yeah, yeah, because
I'm guilty.
I you know,
I'm guilty here.
that to me that's pillow talk time, and I think a lot of us men, man, we at that point we really just trying to roll over and go to sleep or put our shit on and get on out,
And get on
whatever,
out.
you know. But I think that time afterwards is really one of the most important times. Probably just maybe a little bit more important than the sexual act itself,
I
because now
agree.
we got to figure this out. Let's talk. Let's look at each other, or whatever, hug or whatever. Let's talk for
I
about 5
agree.
minutes.
I agree.
Um,
I
uh,
agree.
So, yeah, I could definitely see
I
that. You do
agree.
have to do that, and then you can go fix each other a sandwich and some
I
and
agree.
a drink.
I
You know,
agree.
after that.
I agree. And I tell you what, where I've left this one short, I won't do it again.
Mhm.
I will not do that again. I truly see the real value in the debrief, if nothing else, because guess what? It might be something simple as, did you enjoy yourself?
Right,
Hey, I like when you did X, Y, or Z. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right,
Hey, do that shit again.
right, right.
It, it,
Or it
it,
could be
it
an awkward conversation too. That's the only thing about that debrief. It may be an awkward
yeah,
conversation
I,
too.
but
I,
that's why I think it's important
Oh, yeah, I agree.
to take the awkwardness out of the room. Go ahead, Tasha.
I was just gonna say, I don't care how awkward it is. We just got done sharing something. Okay,
Mhm.
you done seen all my parts. I done seen all your parts. Your hand, your mouth been in places, and so have mine. It ain't
I
gonna be
love it.
awkward. So just come, just lay here in my arms, and just for a few minutes. You ain't got to stay long if
She's
you don't
right.
want to.
She's
But
right. She's
no,
right.
But
I don't care how awkward it is.
but
Mm-mm.
and I agree with you, Tasha. But what if it wasn't up to your satisfaction? Do you still want to debrief?
I still have that conversation.
Okay,
Like how,
okay.
like even if for me, like, okay, well, how was it? Oh, well, they know, like men, y'all know if the woman
Yeah,
didn't get off, like y'all know. And
that's
it'll be
true.
like, okay, well, next time,
That's
like
true.
my bad, I'm sorry, I got caught up, I'm sorry.
That's true.
Even some of them is I've had the like they're embarrassed.
Mhm.
Like, don't be embarrassed. I will make sure, like, to reassure you, don't be embarrassed. I mean, it's not going to go any further. I mean, it'll, we talking on here, but I'm not naming names,
Right, right.
but
Right,
it's
right,
nothing
right.
to be embarrassed about. Not everybody's performance is going to be great every time, but it is like a conversation like we need to happen, make adjustments for any time going forward. So,
I love that because now, thank God, knock on wood, that, I didn't have any true bad dick reports out there. I've had some sexual experiences where extenuating circumstances didn't allow me to give my all. I was in an orgy situation, for example, and I had drank, like a gallon of fucking gin and smoked quite a few blunts,
Oh yeah, you wasn't.
and yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah.
was what it was. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And even
Mm-mm.
then, they was still sucking and fucking all around me, and even with me, you know. Now, thank God, my reputation preceded itself, so I was able to beat them pussies effectively the very next day. So, you know, I'm grateful for that. But I still think that the briefing is important here because
mhm.
I think it could avoid a lot of awkward situations if the person is performing bad. And I'm even thinking about it from women if I had given them a debrief, because I think it would have helped to be able to just to let them know that why it wasn't
Mm.
as good as it could have been, and because
But
maybe there was a reason.
and that's true. But I think I think most women don't normally ask, so how was it, or did you enjoy
No, no, you're right. You're right.
most women don't, because they just assume automatically that we
Which
enjoyed
is
it,
why I'm saying,
because most of us, we do orgasm. So for a woman, a man that orgasms, he's enjoying it for them.
uh,
And it's
I
exact.
I I
Well, no,
think
I'm just saying most women automatically assume because a man
I and see
orgasms,
and see
he
Kenny
enjoyed it.
and see Kenny. I famously used to only nut only 50% of the time, and I've had
Yeah.
women angry behind that. And they working their little
Mm,
heart out, thinking, well, why isn't he coming? You
mhm.
know, and in some cases, it wasn't their fault. There was a
Right,
time when
right,
it just was hard.
right. It just
But
right, guys.
yeah, but
Mm,
I even think again, if I knew what I knew then, what I knew now, it would have been helpful to have that little bit of a conversation.
conversation.
But in my mind, I still was thinking, okay, get the fuck out. I done had to get out.
Now,
You
is this
know,
the conversation you have with someone that you actually maybe want to be intimate again on a continuous
oh,
basis,
definitely. There was in the rotation.
or
Yeah.
do you not have this conversation? If it's just someone you're like, I ain't really trying to kick it with them no more. Do you even have it?
No, no.
Okay.
Even the ones that wasn't all that great, they still fell in a rotation because my thought process was when I make it back around to her, she knows now that she
Okay.
didn't do a really good job. Hopefully, you're gonna
Okay.
do better, sweetheart.
Okay.
You know, try it again. Get back on this horse. I'm okay with that.
Is that true for women? Is that true for women, Tasha? Do you have that debrief with someone that you already know? Like, nah, we not going there
I
no more.
always want to know my score after. I always want to know my
Okay,
statistics.
okay.
Always. How
Got
was
you.
it?
Okay.
I want to know.
Okay.
You see.
Okay, got it.
So
Okay.
hey,
I just wonder because I think sometimes this debrief can go either way.
it
I
can.
agree.
No, I agree
I
with you.
agree
I agree
that
with you.
I think you should have it, but I'm like, if it's me personally, I'm just speaking from my perspective. If it's
Right.
if I'm not gonna waste my debrief on somebody, I ain't trying to hit it no more
I got
anyway.
you.
So
I got you.
why should I debrief you? It ain't really.
I
It's
got
not
you.
gonna help you or me.
I'm
But
gonna tell you
It might
why.
help them.
And,
It
and
might
see, I'm
help them.
gonna
oh,
tell
it might
you
help
why.
them. Okay, okay.
And that's why I was gonna say. Here's why I'm gonna tell you why. I promise you, going forward, I still would have that. Tasha situation again. I'm gonna tell you what I learned from that. I told her, I said, this young man, I hope that when he get with the next person, all the mistakes he made with her, that maybe he'll be a better man for the next person, because now
Gotcha.
he will have been with a woman that's a little bit older, more established, more mature. So I hope for his sake that he sits up, and when he's really honest with himself, it sits up one day and say, damn, I didn't hold my end up. So even for a woman, let's say if I know that, okay, well, this is not going to work, I feel like I still owe it to her to debrief, so that, guess what? I might be passing some information on to her that, baby, don't ever do that again. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Okay.
because for the next person, this is what's going to keep you from finding your match. You know,
Mhm.
so I'm telling you this. You know,
Gotcha.
so
I get it.
I'm a
I
fan of
get it.
this.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Got it.
Anyway, those were some points, and I just wanted to be able to share this. So we didn't have a large panel tonight, but I enjoyed the conversation.
I did too.
So you
I
know,
think it
this
was
one,
needed. I think this is a topic because
absolutely.
you know what's funny, Black. When I saw you post the subject, it kind of wasn't when you started. I was, oh, this is going a different direction. Because when I read what it was going, I'm thinking something totally different. To be honest with you, and then it went this route. I was like, okay, this is different. I think this is something that we need to converse about because I don't think we've talked about this
We have
as
not. We don't.
grown folks. Yeah.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. When Tasha and I was sitting and coming up with this concept, that's where we were thinking the same thing. That, you know what, this is really a grown folks conversation.
It really is.
That
Mhm.
not enough people are having this. I do hate that we didn't have a bigger panel to get more input and perspectives. So I just can only hope that, you know, my viewers, that you're able to go back, and I hope, you know what I want for my viewers to do with this episode? Watch this with a group of people.
Mhm.
And watch it with your significant other. If you're in a marriage or a
Absolutely.
committed relationship, watch it with them.
Absolutely.
And
Open up the dialogue,
right,
you know.
right.
So even if you watch it, and so even if you go watch it alone or with your significant other, pass this episode on to friends and family, maybe who themselves find it awkward to breach this topic. And so watching us have it, maybe it will open the floodgates up to having that real conversation with each other about what you like and what works, and more importantly, about being in the room. Because at the end of it all, that's what this is about. We all lead busy lives. We know that we got a dozen things happening at any one given time. And I've said this before, we only have 24 hours in a day. And those 24 hours are irrespective of your age, race, socioeconomic status. It doesn't give a shit. Everybody got 24 hours. So if you're working and you got kids and responsibilities and you're this and that, when you break it down, we only are going to have a real small window to be with each other in those intimate moments. Why not really be there?
And your
Why
sexual
not
health,
really be there?
right? And your sexual health is important. I know,
Just as important as anything else.
I know our physical and mental and all that is just as important. But your sexual health is important, especially if you're a
It's
couple.
a balance.
You
It's
gotta
it's a
figure it
beautiful
out.
balance.
You got to.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So if you're a couple and then both of you are working and there might be kids,
Right,
so when you're
right.
finding those moments to be together, I hope this show is giving you some insight into how can we both be present in the moment. Tasha, get to me when you talked about it earlier about that voice in your head. You
Mhm.
know, now you can take two of those people out of the room, and it's just you and I.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so I hope you got something from this show. I appreciate you for being a part of another great episode of Real Talk for Real Men. Please join us again on Sunday when we will be talking about something a little bit more live, a little bit more fun. I hope you guys know how we do it. Join us, you know, even if it's just for a time being, pop in and be a part of, you know, the platform. And I'll let Brother Kenny tell you and then throw down a line of where you can find us at any given day of the week from the TFG TV platform.
Well, yes, you can. Make sure if you haven't already liked and subscribed and followed TFG TV on Facebook and on YouTube on Wednesday nights, right here. You can find on Keep It Real Talk for Real Men, my man Lee Black and his pretty co-host, the freak Tasha. No, I'm just playing. She's not really a freak. You can find her every night here at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central on Wednesdays and on Sundays at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. And it's always, you're going to always find something here on these shows that you're going to enjoy. On Thursday nights on TFG TV, Forgive Us Later, with my man Lamb Levity, Lamar Falk, DJ Sullivan, Charles Moore. It's a man's point of view. It's kind of like a men's panel where they talking about the daily, whatever topics is hot at that point. Forgive Us Later. You can find them on TFG TV as well on Fridays and Saturdays. Lamb Levity does the Real Estate Insider, where he goes over celebrity homes, just different homes. He goes live with special guests. You can see him on Fridays and Saturdays. Then on Sundays, you can check out Lamb Levity Late Night with Lamb Levity and the Millennial Crew, as we call them.
Yes.
8 o'clock p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. That's on Sundays. Then on Monday nights, you can catch me and my man Lee Black on TFG Tonight with Brent Hayes, 8 p.m. Eastern. No, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, where we're talking about politics, sports, entertainment, whatever. Me, myself, Black again, Devin Devine, and Brent Hayes. And on Tuesday nights, you can catch me. It's hard to catch me, but my show, TFG Sports Media, I'm giving you the hot takes on sports. I'm not yelling at you. Well, maybe a little bit. I'm yelling at you a little bit. It's 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. 30 minutes of the best sports talk show on social media. So that's our lineup. You can catch this 7 days a week. TFG TV got something for everybody. Come check us out. Share with your family. Make sure you subscribe to us on Facebook and then on YouTube as well. So there you go.
Absolutely. And I love that he said it. Listen to that voice, audience. Made for TV and radio. That voice right there.
Hey, I got something that I really want to do late night after dark with Kendrick. I'm thinking about something. I got something I've been writing down. I want to do something late night.
So before we even leave, I'm gonna ask my resident expert woman on the thing, Tasha, what would his voice do on a late night? You got that voice, Kenny, that you should be doing. What they used to call that in WBLS in New York, the late night thing. You need to be doing something late night, my brother.
I got some ideas I want to do. This called late night talk.
Yes, sir.
Talking about different things.
And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Keith Sweat has his own radio talk show,
right?
And
the
he has a thing.
The Sweat Hotel. Yes.
Kenny, my brother.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm thinking about it. I want to do some late night.
You got that voice,
I got some
brother.
ideas. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I was born with it. I might as well use it. Might as well use it for something.
My brother, there you go. Yeah. So as you see, we're coming up with even more content right here on the fly. So thank you guys for joining us, for spending just a little part of your Wednesday with us. We're on the right side of the week now, folks. We headed towards the end of this thing. Hump day is almost behind us. Whatever you got left for this evening, relax, enjoy, be good to yourselves. And we'll see you next time again on Real Talk for Real Men. Until then, stay true, stay good to yourself, and keep it real always.
Peace.